Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to the video. Today we're going to be talking about the new Fable, Fable 4, which is known as just Fable. And yeah, we're going to be looking at the most recent update, which isn't that recent. I'm kind of late on this, but it's something I wanted to talk about. I thought it'd make a good YouTube video, considering my most popular YouTube videos are Fable videos. So I thought, let's do a Fable video. And obviously, I can't think of many things to do on Fable other than talk about the new Fable. So, what we know about Fable so far. So, we know that Fable 4 will be made by the same people that made Forza. So, the people that made Forza, they're going to be making the new Fable. Playground Games. They're going to be making the new Fable. That means it won't be the guys that made the other Fables. Obviously, that team doesn't exist anymore. Lionhead, that studio doesn't exist anymore. So it's now going to be Playground Games, the people that worked on Forza Horizon. And the game is set to release in 2025, which isn't too bad. Because obviously we're in 24 now. To be honest, not that much longer to go in 24, so but we're not too far away from when this will be, even if it's at the end of the year. Not too far. I mean, considering there's been rumours of Fable 4 for years, so we've been waiting a very long time, and it was first announced, I think, a couple of years ago. Was that properly announced, or was that just rumours? I can't remember. But yeah, so it should come out in 2025. It doesn't give a specific month. It just says a ballpark release window of 2025. That's what we know so far. And about the gameplay, look, we see these big pair of glasses here. That gives me hope. Now you may be thinking, why would that give you hope? It gives me hope because Fable is known to be a very wacky game, and this is a very wacky thing. Obviously, this must be from the giant that was seen in the trailer. But this kind of wacky thing is what Fable's all about. So it needs to be wacky, right? Like, I've been excited for this, looking forward to this game for a long time, but also in the back of my head I've been kind of worried that they're gonna ruin it and butcher it, to be honest. So I've been a little like, I'm looking forward to playing it when it comes out, but at the same time, if they mess it up, it's gonna be really disappointing because we've waited a long time. So, but also I'll tell you why my faith has been restored in the project a little bit. So, the Fable 4 engine. Okay, so as we know, it's the people that made Forza. So, basically, it'll be their game engine, using the same game engine as the studio's other titles, Playground Games. So, the same thing that they made Forza on. Force Tech Engine is powering 3 AAA titles in development across 2 beloved franchises, so one of them will be Fable. Now, that, to be honest, is a little bit of a worry, just because it's not that I doubt that they can do it. It's just a big jump, like to go from a racing game to an RPG is a big jump, and maybe the people involved in it won't be the same people that were involved with the racing game, and they're gonna get a whole new team. It's just the same, company that's doing it, the same studio, but it's not gonna have exactly the same people. I guess that makes sense, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know more about that than I do. But just from an outsider's perspective, to see that people that make racing games are going to make the new Fable, that's like a worry, because it's a big jump, and Fable's not just any RPG. It's very much its own thing. It's very wacky. It's very funny. It's its own thing within the RPG genre. So they're really going to have an understanding of what Fable is. So you can't just make an RPG here and then slap the title of Fable on it. That's not what Fable is. It's very wacky. It's very much its own thing. So hopefully they've done their research on what Fable is. And also, I know that Lionhead Studios doesn't exist now, but I'm kind of hoping that some of the people that worked on those original Fables would have been brought into the team to work on this new one, I really hope. Go to platforms. Now, as we know, it will be on the Xbox, and this time it will also be on the PC. Now, the other Fables weren't on PC, as far as I'm aware. Fable 2 definitely wasn't, because it's one that I really want to play on PC, but it's not, so I have to play it on my Xbox. Yeah, it's an Xbox exclusive, so definitely not going to be on the PS5, which is good for Xbox players, because we spend all this money on the Xbox. I remember when the Xbox Series X came out, we spent so much money on the Xbox, and then we had nothing to show for it. And then when the games did start coming out, it was Halo Infinite. So do I need to say more than that, really? So hopefully this one's going to be a big one, because as we know, PlayStation, I'm not like into the whole PlayStation versus Xbox thing really anymore. I was when I was younger, obviously, but now not really. I think if you can have both, because there's no doubt that PlayStation make great games, way better games than Xbox make. But Fable is one of our top games. A lot of people probably don't know that, because I think Fable's not exactly the most well-known game. So a lot of people don't know that, but it is one of the best Xbox games that we have. And I'd put it up there with anything PlayStation bring out. Obviously not in comparing, the games, but just in terms of like how much fun I had and how much I loved the franchise, I'd put it up there with anything, right? So hopefully this can match anything that PS5 bring out, because we spend all this money on the Xbox, so we should get something to show for it, right? So let's see what it says about the development here. So yeah, it just says it's being developed by the Forza crew, Playground Games. Lionhead is no more. And then we have a quote here from Simon Carter, who says, "I have slightly mixed feelings," said Fable co-creator Simon Carter in an interview with Eurogamer back in 2017. So this is, yeah, we've been waiting for this game a long time. On the one hand, it's great for the UK games industry and very pleasing that Fable isn't dead. Indeed, it will be lovely to play one as a punter without coming out in hives. On the other, it is a little curious to get rid of the team that is uniquely expert in making Fable and then try and make Fable. Fable is a weird game and a tough one to deconstruct for a new team. That said, the team in question is very talented, and I'm sure they'll do a fantastic job. So, yeah, I'm not sure exactly what he means, because obviously Lionhead just doesn't exist. So obviously Lionhead can't do it, but unless he's just referring to like people within Lionhead being recruited, then I agree. I think that's what they should do. But that comment was back in 2017. It's 2024 now. It's been a long time. So they've had a long time to think about how they're going to do this. They've had a long time to study the original games and bring in the right people. So hopefully they can get it right. And what restored my faith really was the trailer, the Fable official trailer that came out in the Xbox showcase. And I'll tell you why this kind of brought my faith back. And it's because with all the things that we've discussed there about, well, I didn't actually know about Lionhead at first. It was mainly just, it's been a long time since Fable came out. I'm a little worried that, since it's a reboot as well, that it's just going to be completely terrible and they're going to throw everything out the window, and that we've waited years for this game and it's just going to be really bad. So that was something that I was worried about. And then obviously things have been coming out here and there, or they had to stop making the game, or it's been delayed, or whatever, things that you hear, which makes you worry even more. And now, like we said, no Lionhead, okay. They're going with the Forza crew, okay. It's a big jump. And then there's a couple other things that I will get into later on. But this trailer definitely is interesting and does make me excited about the game. You see he's wearing like the seal thing there. I'm not sure why. Well, I guess 'cause he's a hero. Makes sense. So I'm not just gonna play the whole trailer because, like, I'm guessing you've already seen it. But what makes me excited for this game definitely is boom, the world. Now, from what we can see, the world looks amazing. They've done a really good job of creating this world. I like that. I like that. That's like off center. That's what Fable's all about. Like, I know it's just a tiny detail, but like I like that because Fable's kind of wacky and like not supposed to be realistic. So I like that. Even if that's not their intention, I like that. Yeah, the world looks really nice. Really, really nice. It looks really good. Really good. Now, what I can say is the villagers don't look so good from what I can see. Like, you can't really see too well, but they seem a little basic. That's one thing that I worry about. Even though this trailer restored my faith, like my excitement, it does also make me worry a little bit because they look a bit basic. And the thing about Fable is, especially in Fable 2, because that's the one I played most, the villagers are really fun. Like the NPCs are really fun to talk to and interact with. So that needs to be brought over into this game. They need to be fun. Like you need to be able to talk to them and interact with them, and it needs to be worth doing because it makes the world feel alive. So please don't go for this, that games go for now, where the NPCs are so dead that it's almost not worth even interacting with them. It's got to be like Skyrim. It's got to be like Fable, where like each villager is actually interesting and worth interacting with, not like Harry Potter or Spider-Man 2 or games like that, where I guess the focus isn't really on, the NPCs. But like if you've played Spider-Man 2, the NPCs are so boring and basic, and they just walk back and forth and don't do anything. It's really a boring experience, and it makes the world feel dead. If you want the world to feel alive and vibrant, you need the NPCs to have a bit of character, and they always did in Fable, in the Fable games. So that is something they really need to get right. Is the NPCs. So like we see him talking to people here, but I have a feeling that these aren't just regular NPCs. That they're gonna be quest based. Like these are from quests maybe, and these aren't regular NPCs. I just have a feeling that they're not going to put this much detail into regular NPCs. That's just a feeling, though. I don't know. Hopefully, I'm wrong, but I have a feeling. And obviously, this is a very cinematic trailer. It's not exactly what it's going to look like in the game. I don't think so. You have to take that into account too. I like this. Cool monster. You need cool monsters in Fable. Fable's always had really cool monsters to fight. You need that. So, I mean, I don't know if you will fight that. That might be a good character, but you need stuff like that. And the other worry is the character herself. Now, me personally, I don't mind playing as a woman. Doesn't bother me. Love the Tomb Raider games, so that doesn't bother me playing as a woman or anything like that. But the thing in Fable is it always gives you the choice, male or female, at the start of every single Fable game. It makes you choose: do you want to be a male? Do you want to be a female? Whose story are you going to tell? So to remove it from this one would be a bit strange. To force us to play as a female would be a bit strange. I don't really care to whether we do or don't play as a female, but to remove that option from the player when it's been in all the Fable games, that's a bit weird. And I know there's a lot of people that won't like that. To be honest, I don't really mind too much, but you know, if you strip away too many things that were from the old games, you're gonna lose what Fable is. So, if you play as a woman, does that mean it's not Fable anymore? No, of course it can still be Fable. Of course it can. But if you have to play as a woman, if you go for realistic graphics, the old Fables weren't realistic; they were cartoony, wacky graphics. So you go with realistic graphics. You're forced to play as a female. NPCs are boring. Those things add up, and then it becomes not Fable. So that's why you need to be careful with what you're going to change about the franchise. But you know, it's not a big deal to me really, but I think you should have the option. I do. But in all the trailers, all we've seen is a female so far, so I don't know. We'll see.
You know, it's your life and death stuff. That's what defines you, isn't it? Really
But definitely, graphics look great, even though different from what Fable is.
is one hero.
It looks really beautiful. Like, look at that. That looks fantastic. Let's be real here.
Really is one hero.
It looks fantastic.
Her in when she had nowhere else to go.
The world looks great.
The most exclusive club in all of Albion.
From what we can see.
Thought I'd get her out.
Hopefully it's a really good open world and not something basic.
You know what it's like when you're young and you have a point to prove.
And that looks like that's a really good recreation of what that monster looked like.
The talent.
Were they hobs, by the way?
She had it all. The skill.
They're hobs, alright? Cool. They look cool.
The
Yeah,
talent,
that looks cool.
the power.
So it looks really good.
That was alright. She was terrible.
Even if it's not what Fable should be, I think it'll still be good.
Knew
But
the girl
we've been wanting a Fable game for years, so
all the wrong choices.
make it like Fable, basically.
She's back.
And then also the way she says there at the end, she's back, it infers like she might be talking about herself, because that's what it seems like, that the whole trailer is talking about her. But because at the end she says she's back, and then his reaction, that infers that maybe it's actually talking about a different character who you'll probably have to fight. It's probably the main villain is going to be some female character. And then we see a little shot here, which could easily be a female, looks female to me.
I'm going to fix it. This place. And no one is going to stand in my
So
way.
this, yeah, so... Oh, actually, that voice talking, I think, is this character, right? That's not, I don't think that's the main girl, right? That voice sounded different.
Is going to stand in my way.
I think that's different, and that would be the female, right? It would make sense. Indiana Jones. I'm going to play that as well. Game Pass. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. It looks like it's coming in 2025. No updates on that. I'm excited for it because graphically it looks amazing. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Very cool. I just worry that are they going to remove what makes it Fable? It needs to be wacky. It needs to be wacky. That's the main thing. It needs to be funny and it needs to be wacky. That's the main thing. Then clearly they've gone for a graphical, you know, their graphics are going to be different. Okay. You know, as long as the world's still wacky, you got wacky characters, I guess it's okay. And then hopefully you can choose male or female, because that's a staple of Fable. You know, it's at the start of every game. And yeah, hopefully they just don't remove too many or any of the things that make Fable what it is. And then I think it's got a really good chance because it looks great. So if they can keep those elements of what made Fable great as well, especially the NPC stuff, that would really get to me. If the NPCs weren't worth talking to, that would be so annoying because I spent so many hours just talking to NPCs, marrying NPCs, starting families with NPCs, nonsense like that in Fable 2, that if you can't do stuff like that, that is, like, you drop the ball massively. Massive. So hopefully they don't get rid of stuff like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys are excited for the next Fable. Let me know what you're thinking, whether you're worried, whether you're excited. Let me know. Yeah, thanks for watching the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.